Bear Bets is back, and we'll certainly have plenty of time over the next week or so to digest this game and figure out ways to bet this game moving forward. So have a little bit of an exit ramp, a little bit of an opportunity to have some fun here and talk about this kind of cottage industry of cross-sport parlays. And it's something that you've heard me talk about and share and discuss strategies to do this. And it's something where you can potentially bet a little to win a lot. You can put together a bunch of combinations, or you can just kind of stand pat with a couple of tickets. But out there on social media, out there on Twitter right there was a pretty good recent example of an 85-cent wager that could return $147,000 with Ohio State winning the national championship. Now, this bettor sold it for $16,750, which if I would have gotten to that point, I would not have sold the ticket.
No.
I certainly would have. I mean, selling it for $16,000, $17,000, yeah, off an 85-cent investment, yeah, it sounds great, but you could have made so much more if you would have done a better job of hedging that. Now, maybe there were some other hedges involved that I was not aware about or that aren't seen there, but you certainly can figure out a way to make a little bit more money than $16,000, especially when you've got a team that's going to be close to double-digit favorite in the college football championship game. And again, I don't know when that bet was made or when the ticket was sold, but yeah, I would not have sold. But it goes to show you how you can take these stabs for minimal amounts and return big money. And I was fortunate enough to have some success this summer, coming down to Panthers winning the Stanley Cup and some Euro wagers with Spain winning the Euro. So like I had a pretty good summer doing this. I think this is a good time where you can maybe reset and maybe invest whatever you're comfortable with, couple $100, couple $1,000, whatever it is. But if you, for example, I'm going to lay it out for you. Like we're in a period now where the strategy behind this is you need to find bets and markets where you feel pretty good standing alone with one winner, or in the case of the Super Bowl, two winners. So I think the game that's basically a toss-up game, it's a great opportunity. You play the Chiefs on the money line. That's how you can start your first leg. And then on another set, you can take the Eagles plus the 1.5. You can probably buy it up to 2 in the grand scheme of things. It's not really going to cost you that much more money in terms of earning potential if you buy it up to 2. And by the way, 2 could be a very logical outcome in this game with the 2-point conversions and overtime and such. So buying the Eagles up to 2 is probably a good thing. So you can play Chiefs on the money line, and then find some other things that you feel are high probability outcomes, like Oklahoma City to win the West. Now I know they blew a double-digit lead last night against a terrible Golden State team, but grand scheme of things, that's not going to affect Oklahoma City coming up in the playoffs. So I think OKC is the best team in the West, and they're going to be getting healthy. You know, they're going to improve their team probably at the trade deadline as well. So you get them around plus 110 or so. A stronger leg like a Liverpool to win the English Premier League, they're up minus 450. But again, when you're adding legs, you're accruing value. They're 6 points up on Arsenal with a game in hand. So really that's potentially like a 9-point lead. So like it's very likely that Liverpool are going to win the Prem. Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, again, minus 1,000, but they are going, it's essentially a certainty. And again, you're adding value, you're another leg. The extrapolation of adding a leg to the parlay is something that you're creating value. You say, oh, why would you want to add something minus 1,000 to a parlay? But when you're adding 5-6 legs, it does add dollars to the outcome. Iga Swiatek to win the French Open. I think she's won it, 4 times already? She's minus 175. Some people might say, oh, well, didn't she lose the Olympics at Roland Garros? Yeah, court plays a lot differently when the Olympics were played when she lost to Qinwen Zhang than it does in late May, early June. So it's basically a health thing with Iggy. If she's healthy, she's going to win the French Open. So minus 175 on her to win the French Open. And then the last leg of this, what I would suggest doing is kind of your value leg. This is where you're going to make your money on the crossboard, the longest possible leg. Look at something like the Masters. Like even with Scottie Scheffler at like 4-1 to win the Masters, that parlay is going to come out and pay 38-1. Xander Schauffele, to win the Masters, that's going to come out around 80-1. John Rahm would come out around 95-1. Ludwig Oberg would come out to like 115-1. So depending on how long of a price you play in the Masters, you're gonna get a lot of bang for your buck at this point. And so like this is something that I enjoy doing. Like I know it's not for everybody. People, parlays are for suckers. But again, if you want to invest a couple $100 and then you can wind up getting a 38-1, you can figure out your ways to which parlays to press a little bit more. It's a fun way of potentially having a high five, low six or high six-figure score as well. If you want to get really risky and really go out on a limb, maybe you put some college basketball futures. Like I think. Push comes to shove, I don't know what you guys think. Like it just feels like Auburn, Duke, Houston, maybe Iowa State are kind of like the four teams. Alabama, 5 teams. So there really aren't a ton of college basketball teams that can win. Maybe you do that. NHL, usually I stay away because I think the NHL playoffs are kind of like the most high variant playoffs, but last year I had a strong feeling about the Panthers. I felt good about them, so I did use them. But those are just some things that I like doing. And if you want to follow along, great. If you don't, no offense taken. But just kind of pull back behind the curtain at just some of the strategies I have with some of these cross-sport parlays. And I know you love so much, Jeff.
Well, my favorite thing about this, Bear, is when you told me we were in Los Angeles together, I think it was, and you were flying to Arizona just to place cross-sport parlays in the Delta Lounge before flying home. Yep. So I appreciate the commitment, Will, that Chris has to making cross-sport parlays be a thing. I'm going to do that. I wrote it down. I'm going to try to make it happen. And I'll ride with you. Because, again, like, if you get the first 5 legs, which seem pretty likely, then you have some fun with the Masters. Then you can have fun with the Masters.
And Jeff, I'll be there to hold your hand in New Orleans. Maybe we could do it side by side together.
Well, I'm gonna make 2. I'll make one with the Eagles and one with the Chiefs.
Perfect. Good. Yeah. But yeah, and Super Bowl Sunday will be the payoff of that LA to Phoenix little 5-hour gambling junket that we had during the summer. Because the final, here was the parlay that I have. I'm not posting it, but just so you know, like I played. So it was right before the Open Championship. So I used like 5 golfers at the Open Championship, including Xander Schauffele, who wound up winning. I had WNBA, New York Liberty, and I had the Aces as a leg. And of course, as you know, as everybody knows, I'm sure, Game 5 of the WNBA final was a little bit of a sweat, but the Liberty did get home. Aaron Judge was a single leg to win the AL MVP. It was only around minus 300 or so at that time. And then I used Georgia and Ohio State to win the college football championship as a leg. So Ohio State wound up winning. So now here I am. I used 5 or 6 teams, I think it was, prior to the year. I used the Eagles. I used the Chiefs. I used the Niners. I used the Ravens. And I might have been one other one, Bills. So I was I was naked on the Lions, which wound up working. I mean, I was exposed there, and I was a little bit concerned, but the Commanders did me a solid in knocking the Lions out. So here we are. We're alive to both the Chiefs and the Eagles for a nice score. So the payoff to that Arizona trip will be next Sunday, Jeff.
I like it. I'm going through. I'm trying to find all these wagers to make this happen. So I'll
help you through it.
I got it. I got. And I just have to put the golf
nothing is going to change dramatically between now and next Sunday. And when I see you,
if I don't do it now, I'm going to forget about it. So I'm not going to do it now. Okay. It's got to be done immediately.
I just did one myself. Chiefs money line. Thunder to make the finals, Celtics to make the finals. And what the hell? The American League's pretty wide open. Yankees got a good bullpen, some pitching, plus 850. Yankees to win it all. 73-1, a little over 73-1. So Chiefs win it all. Celtics Thunder finals, which I actually think is going to be the final. You can get like 3-1 on that. And then Yankees to win it all. 73-1. Bear. Let's the dream is in. The ticket is in. So I want to be like you.
Chiefs, you said Celtics Thunder.
Make the finals, yeah, and I want Yankees to win it all.
You think do you think of the? Because again, I'm not the NBA expert here. I just
doesn't sound like it. You were all over. You were staying up to watch Thunder blow a late lead to the Warriors, which that's the most surprising part of this podcast so far.
It was one of those things that you click on, you open up the phone when you first wake up, and like you have like ESPN.com or what is Fox Sports or whatever, and like on the front headline is like. You just see like the picture of Steph and like you see the score. So it's like, oh, wow, Golden State beat Oklahoma City last night. So of those two teams, of the Celtics and the Thunder, like who do you think is the bigger risk there? Like which one could you see losing before the NBA championship, NBA finals?
Boy, it's a great question. I think it's a coin flip. I would say OKC just because they haven't done it. But man, that is a very deep team. I guess it's like, who do you like in either conference as a sleeper? Like, do you like the Knicks more than you like? I don't even know who would be the biggest threat in the West.
Some people are talking Memphis up.
Memphis is good. I have a hard time seeing that. So I think OKC's maybe more likely to get tripped up, but I think it's about even. If you look, DraftKings, they're both plus 110 to make the finals, so it's dead even.
Or Jersey Jeff moaning there. You think the Lakers are gonna?
No.
The apple cart?
Not with AD. I give my first.
I was gonna say, how was your field trip to? It was good. Charlotte Coliseum.
I give my first wager on the WNBA on the radio the other day. I give AD over 12.5 rebounds. He's projected to get like 14 against the Sixers. No Embiid, gets hurt immediately. That's what I get for giving out an NBA wager. It was fun. The funniest thing about the game, the arena is just the most terrible environment of all time. But the funny thing is, the Lakers tunnel had like 25 security guards lining the stands above the tunnel, just because there were a lot of Laker fans there. I turned to the Hornets side, not one security guard, like not a single security guard at all, protecting any of the Hornets. But it's crazy. The NBA, man, look, Lakers were up, I think, 27-5 in the first quarter. AD had 21-11 in the first quarter, and they didn't cover. They didn't cover the 5.5. The Hornets came all the way back and covered the 5, which unfortunately I didn't get to see Bronny go 0 for 5. So
that was the game he played?
No, he didn't travel. It was the Sixers game the next night. I was bummed. I didn't get to see him play. Had my Bronny jersey on. I was ready to go.
Did they show you on TV when they do like the celebrity row and they'll show like Larry David and Jack Nicklaus? Did they show Jeff Schwartz?
I don't sit there. I have so many problems with the Hornets arena. Like one of them is everyone at halftime who sits like courtside on like the opposite of the players, obviously, they all go to like the bar or restaurant that's underneath, like, they all leave and they don't come back for the first like 7-8 minutes of the second half. So the entire front of like the court where like the TV is at, everyone's like, where the cameras are at, no one's there. It looks terrible. Just get everyone their drinks as soon as possible to send them back out there so at least it looks good on TV.
Wait till there's 10-minute quarters. All this will be solved.
Oh, don't get me started. That's just all we want is the players to play. It's all we want, Adam Silver. And they're not gonna be like, well, quarters with 8 less minutes, I'm gonna play tonight. It's the whole process of getting ready and being on the court. This is not gonna solve any problems.
I wish we had more time to solve all the problems in the world.
I'm making these cross-sport parlays now. It's going to take the rest of the
Exactly. I was going to say the best segment in Bear Bets podcast history, solving the NBA's 10-quarter problems to Charlotte. I don't even know. It's not Charlotte Coliseum anymore. I'm just making fun of it and all that. So
might as well be.
I think it's probably a good time to let all of you go. So appreciate Jeff and Will for sticking around and kicking all this around. Appreciate you again, as always, the listener and viewer, for downloading, rating, reviewing, subscribing, wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever else. For Jeff, for Will, I'm Bear. Less you bet, more you lose when you win. Bear Bets full episodes drop twice a week right here on the Bear Bets YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe to stay ahead of the odds, and let's celebrate all of our wins together.